yeah, so what happened with Mikol? I heard like bits and pieces. Like I saw someone say that like Sauce said that he like leaked the Jets playbook against the Eagles or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw a sleeper notification about it like yesterday or something like that. And what does it say? Jets players believe wide receiver Mecole Hardman leaked their game plans to the opposing team, namely against the Chiefs and Eagles. Which is funny because they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the
I was about to say,
Eagles?
didn't they beat the Eagles too? Miko Army can't even sabotage, right, bro?
That's so funny.
That's crazy.
And then there's this other thing that I'm seeing. Yes, I'm told per Connor Hughes, whoever the fuck that guy is. This is just on a Reddit post, and it's tagged with a rumor. So source that if you were wondering.
Source rumor on Reddit.
Source the rumor tag on Reddit. This is high quality reporting. We're
Top
hitting
tier journalism.
But it's quote, yes, I'm told there was validated belief from the hashtag Jets that wide receiver Mecole Hardman, frustrated by his lack of usage, leaked game plans to the opposition, as implied by several players, Sauce Gardner, Kenny Yeboah today. Not just the Eagles game, but also the Chiefs.
Frustrated by his lack of usage, bro has never been happy in his life. But
Someone in the comments said, so he one got beat out by an undrafted free agent,
yeah.
2 requested a trade, 3 leaked game plans to opponents, 4 caught the Super Bowl winning touchdown. What a year.
That is a crazy year. God damn it. Why do you have a happy ending?
Let's see. Any other fun bangers of comments here?
Yeah, Jerry Jones is...
Oh, the Eagles did lose. This Eagles fan said, you're telling me we had the script and lost?
Yeah, because I remember the Jets had beat the Eagles and the Chiefs, and they had like some good wins under their belt. In other news, Jerry Jones just got ordered to take a paternity test.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that one now.
By this, I think it was like a 25 or 26-year-old woman.
Oh,
Originally, the judge said that he didn't have to take a paternity test. As the child, not as the mom. The 26-year-old is the child, not the mom. The way you said "Oh Jesus" made it.
Oh.
Yeah. No.
I mean, if the math is mathing,
he'd still be like 80.
No,
or
right.
60 or something like that. But shit, maybe
what just came to your mind? I know that shit is diabolical.
She's the product of him celebrating their last Super Bowl win.
I think it was before then.
I mean, she's like 26, and then like add like 9 months to that. I mean, it could be pretty close.
This person in the Reddit thread of this same news story is saying the woman in this paternity case is younger than the last time the Cowboys were in the conference championship game, which is impressive since she's 27.
27. That's pretty close though. Because, like, 1997?
Oh, yes.
It's gotta be.
So, someone then responded, she was conceived during the celebration for the 96 Super Bowl win.
Yes, exactly.
Does this mean the child is the chosen one who will bring the Cowboys back to the NFC Conference Championship game? That's funny. Now I'm just reading Reddit comments.
That's what this show is gonna be.
We don't have an outline for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. It's all...
We don't need one.
Yeah, we just do that shit.
Watch this. Transition. Justin Fields might be a Falcon.
And you know what? If Justin Fields doesn't succeed in Atlanta, I'll take back everything I ever said.
That's fair. I said this to my coworkers earlier whenever I was talking to them. As a football fan, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I think Justin Fields will have a good opportunity, and I think the Falcons will get, a serviceable quarterback. And at the very least, I think that Justin Fields has to be somewhat serviceable. Better than Desmond Ridder. They'll get a quarterback better than Desmond Ridder. So the football fan in me is excited to see that. I mean, Justin Fields, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Drake London, not Jonas Smith anymore because he got cut.
He did get cut.
But
Brock Bowers when they draft him
Yeah.
because they need another tight end.
They're gonna get their next generational player there, and all coached by Raheem Morris.
Right.
Like it's a scary team. It's a scary team. Like as an NFL fan, it's an exciting team to watch. As a Saints fan, fuck that.
Yeah.
As a Saints fan, I hate it. But I think as long as the Saints are either so bad that I don't care or good enough to compete, then I'll be happy. And I'll at least be entertained by it.
What are these just rumors? Like I haven't seen anything.
It's been a ton of rumors. It all sparked because of this video of like Justin Fields like jumping up and down and like celebrating.
Oh, interesting.
But you know, I saw other people saying that there was like, oh, it was already confirmed that he was imitating something or like reenacting something, and then there's like a part of the video where it's like, and like people in the comments were like, bro, they're saying he's going home. They're saying he's going home, and it's a lot.
Delusional.
That's what it was very delusional to start, and I think it was a lot of people hoping.
Right.
And I think that's what sparked this. But now, like all the betting lines, like Atlanta is like minus 100, like they're the clear favorites, and some betting sites have taken down their betting odds for Atlanta, or like for any team, like as for Justin Fields. So it's, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, traction like this happens all the time, where you think someone's gonna go somewhere and then like there's a 180 or something like that. I mean,
yeah.
It doesn't always work out like that, but we'll see.
I mean, if I'm the Falcons and the Bears are wanting a second round pick and probably some change, I'm smashing the trade button every day of the week for that.
Yeah, I mean, I see the appeal. Because like you're such a young team and like you have potential. I don't think that Justin Fields necessarily makes you a Super Bowl team though. That's the main thing that like the main kind of drawback that I'm thinking about is like either because like what's the point in signing Fields if you don't think he's gonna win you a Super Bowl or like has the potential to, or at least has potential to win you a Super Bowl? Because what's the goal then? To win the NFC South for the first time in forever? Like, okay, good for you. You can lose to the Cowboys in the first round then, and like that's gonna be your cycle. That's gonna be like that's just what's gonna happen if you think Justin Fields isn't gonna win you a Super Bowl.
You pick Justin Fields, and then with every other pick and then you just go all defense in the draft. Defense. Every single pick is defense.
Yeah.
Get like some speedy corners with your number one. You go with a Dallas Turner,
I was about to say Dallas Turner.
And then get like literally just all defense. Every single.
You could probably get a good corner in the second round. I'm sure there's some corners that will fall
for sure. There's like
Rakestraw.
Yeah. Although he might go in the first low key.
He might sneak into the late first, early second. If you're lucky, you might get him. Maybe you can move up and get him.
Do I even have him in my first round? I might not. Speaking of, people have been talking about speaking of the draft, we don't have to go into it right away cuz this is a sleeper notification that I just got. But cuz I also got a previous sleeper notification about this, but the Raiders, Vikings, and Giants are all interested in trading up for a top 3 pick this year. And earlier they were saying, what were they saying? Oh, the Patriots are leaning heavily towards drafting a quarterback with the number 3 pick in the NFL draft. And whenever I saw that, I was like, that shit's fake. There's no, like, I don't believe it. And if like that news is coming from the Patriots, then it's 100% like smoke screens.
Yeah.
Like that to me gave like, give us your best offer or else we're taking Jaden Daniels.
Oh, to me it read give us your best option or else we're taking Marv.
Well, if the Patriots are heavily interested in
Yeah, I guess
getting a QB, that would get the other QB needy teams to be like, "Hey, what you want for that third overall, though?"
I don't know. I definitely heard that I saw something. I saw some report that said that Bill Belichick apparently showed a lot of interest in Jaden Daniels, but they don't know if that same interest is shared with Jared Mayo. So I don't know. I do we want to slowly get into the draft?
Yeah, why don't
Because
we transition?
yeah, because I think there's two major draft like timelines. There's two major draft like the big split for me is pick 3. Whatever happens at pick 3 with the Patriots, that's going to determine a large portion of how the rest of the draft is going to go.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I made 2 different drafts, one with each scenario. So
okay, that's fair. I did not do that because I was like, if the do you do trades in yours?
I did not.
Okay,
I didn't do any trades.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we can pull up with some trades.
We can try and think of some trades. I know I have some ideas of like teams that would trade down and stuff like that. But yeah, for simplicity's sake, I figured we could use this as like we could just use this basically as like a top 32 guys.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, why not?
Yeah. Or like who would be some good fits and stuff, and like just a rough draft.
Yeah.
But yes, so I guess we'll explain. We're just doing a little. We pulled up with some mock drafts today. That we did the past few days. And we're gonna go pick by pick and go through them and talk about them.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
See what we're thinking and get kind of see where each other's heads are at. So
number 1 overall, Chicago.
It's Drake. Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is. I mean, it's as simple as that. Like they can throw all the smoke screens they want. They can pull could Zach Wilson be drafted instead of Trevor Lawrence and stuff like that?
Right, yeah.
Like they could try all that all they want. It has been Caleb. It's always gonna be Caleb. Doesn't matter. I love Drake May. I think Drake May is gonna be a great quarterback, despite what Kenny Burkhart or whatever his name is.
Oh, I hate his ass so bad. He's so. I just don't understand how one man can be so wrong about everything.
So wrong.
I was trying to think of like a NBA equivalent of him, but I don't think there is.
Skip Bayless.
Or NBA.
Skip Bayless. Or Kendrick Perkins.
Oh,
Kendrick Perkins is the good one.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless has some NBA.
Also, former player.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Former player, awful takes.
What is it about former players, man?
I still think it was so funny that he was just watching like highlights of Jaden Daniels, just being like, this guy's pretty good.
I mean, if you watch his highlights, that is definitely the conclusion you'd come to for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, yeah, Caleb Williams is going number 1 overall. Like Joby said, it's been foretold. It's always been him. It's gonna be him.
Yeah, it's gonna be him.
Even like, I mean, the thing that eventually got me on this, I feel like I've said this before. Other people have said this. This is not a unique take, but basically like whether you want to, build around Justin Fields or draft a new quarterback, I think it just comes down to like financials. Like that makes it a very easy decision to make. And Caleb Williams is a prospect that you're not going to see for who knows when. Who knows how long, yeah. But yeah, I think that's a pretty safe lock for the first overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, not much else to say there.
For sure.
That's what's gonna happen. It's just what's gonna happen.
Number two.
Now this, I think this definitely could be. I think Washington definitely could be a contender for a trade down.
Definitely.
I think that they are very that is a very good possibility that Washington gets a really good offer. and they decide to try the spray and pray tactic where you just keep going, you just keep trading back and just take 21 shots in the dark.
Yeah.
Um,
And in a draft that's as deep as this, why not?
yeah, worth a shot. And but if they don't, they're getting Drake May.
And that's who I have as well going at number 2. You know, people have argued a lot about Caleb versus Drake May, and it's just the way that Caleb Williams is able to play outside of the structure, and not that Drake May is unable to do that by any stretch of the imagination.
No, very much.
But it's just like a 1A 1B type situation, and so I think that Washington, maybe this is the Jahan Dotson breakout season that I've been waiting for.
We've been praying for it for so long.
Yeah, I drafted him in so many leagues last year, man.
Drake May will bring us to the promised land.
Yes.
All right, and now here's where it gets interesting for me. I have there's two branches here. There, with the Patriots at number 3, you have the Marvin Harrison Jr. branch,
right?
Where you take the generational prospect who is gonna be, an elite wide receiver, almost guaranteed, pretty much as close to a guarantee as you can get when it comes to prospects.
Yeah.
Or you take the risk and you need the quarterback, so you go Jaden Daniels.
To me, I just don't see Jaden Daniels going at number 3 unless someone else trades up for him. I feel like New England needs so many things. Quarterback depth certainly being one of them. But I feel like if you were to draft Jaden Daniels into that kind of a situation, it would just be kind of irresponsible. And like, not that Jaden Daniels is like a project QB by any stretch of the imagination, but it's also like like I said, it would, like, if you're expecting him to like go in on day 1 and be like your franchise quarterback, like there's going to be some growing pains. So if that's what New England's plan is, Jesus, I hope they don't ruin him. But for me, I have them going Marvin Harrison Jr. here.
Yeah. I've been flip-flopping so much with this one, so much, because there's one part of me that's like, oh yeah, just take the quarterback.
Right.
Or other people think that. I think the smart move would be to take Marv. I agree that the smarter move would be to take Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think that's what they should do. I don't think it's what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're thinking, but they just seem like they're gonna be like, we need to get a quarterback now. Because quarterback is so bad for them.
Yeah.
So unbelievably bad.
Playing quarterback by committee over there.
It's awful, man. We have never seen any quarterback get so benched so regularly, except for Atlanta with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke.
And also Zach Wilson.
Yeah. God.
Truly, we're in a rare era of generational quarterbacks, but also generationally bad quarterbacks.
I don't remember. It wasn't like this growing up, where throughout the season there were like 3 different quarterbacks on teams that were like the starting quarterback, but kept getting benched week after week.
Yeah, last year was a fever dream for real.
Especially once like the 2 of them in the same draft class.
Yeah,
Aaron Jones and Zach Wilson.
It's so funny.
Oh God. All right, for continuity's sake for this, should I continue with my Marvin Harrison one and match your draft so we get kind of more similar boards, or should I go with my Jaden Daniels and just throw a wrench into the whole thing?
I think I'll probably title this something like Mock Draft 1.0. So whichever one you want to put your nuts on for 1.0, that's what I would rock with.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the first one that I did then, which is the one with Marvin Harrison Jr. on there, because I think the first one I did the least amount of overthinking, and I think I could rest my nuts comfortably on this one the most.
Okay, I bet. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There were some questionable decisions made though.
If you want to like mix, Jesus, if you want to like mix and match,
I might as I'm going revise a little bit because like there were some players where I was like how am I on pick 14 and he hasn't gotten picked yet, and I'm like that type of shit where I was like this, there's no way that this guy is falling like that, and I just like just forgot or couldn't find a place.
So our top three are the same.
Mm-hmm. Top three are the same now.
I think four for me. Well, okay, no, five actually is where I think that the multiverse, the draft multiverse, really begins for me, because I've had the same like top. I've had the same like top 14 for a while, and. But 5 is the first time where I'm like, I could really see this going like any way at all. It could be a trade down. I mean, well, first, who's 4?
4, yeah. Let's start with 4. So the Cardinals are picking at 4. I had pretty much the same in this one, no matter what. Marquise Brown is probably going to be released.
Oh, really?
Probably. He's like a free agent.
Oh,
and like, are you going to re-sign Marquise Brown?
Nah,
you're not. And even if you do, your wide receiver room is still bad. So I spent most of my time going between the 2A and 2B receivers in this class, Neighbors and Adunze, and it's really a toss-up between the two. But I think if I was them, I think I would, especially with Kyler, and the play style that are like he's played with someone like this before. I think that they should go with Adunze. I think Adunze is super talented. He's big. His player comp is DeAndre Hopkins. Like that's his player comp. Yeah, is D Hop. And who has been Kyler Murray's best receiver ever? It was D Hop, and like. It's just, it's a good fit. It makes sense, and I just think that's I think that's where they're gonna go. I think they're gonna go receiver. So it's either between Neighbors and Adunze. Take your pick. You're not missing on either one. Yeah. But I like Adunze's style more than I like Neighbors for that offense.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure. I actually have Neighbors at number 4.
I had Neighbors in a couple of them as well, and a couple of the drafts that I had done. But yeah, I think it's more likely going to be Adunze than Neighbors.
And the way you put it makes a lot of sense, especially because I mean, like, whenever he played with D Hop, that was whenever Kyler was at his best. For me, the difference is that, like, I mean, Kyler has like a cannon of an arm, and I just want to see him hit deep balls to Malik Neighbors all day.
That's fair.
And I think that it'll happen. Good. And especially if they're releasing Marquise Brown, that's like,
I know he's a free agent this year. I know that much.
If it's the same, like they're the same player essentially, but like Malik Neighbors is like better. Yeah. And so we'll see what they end up doing.
Marquise Brown is like Malik Neighbors' floor.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And so I mean, like you said, I could see it going either way, and I don't think they'll miss either way. But they should pick a wide receiver.
Yes, I think, and I think they will. I think they will. All right. Next up, the possibilities start here.
For sure.
If there's no trade down, if it's just the Chargers picking, I think it's pretty clearly just gonna be Joe Alt.
Oh, nice. That's who I have as well.
Yeah. I think they're just gonna beef up their line, and that's maybe, who knows, maybe Harbaugh comes in there and just does some crazy shit, like. Maybe he wants the remainder of Neighbors or Adunze, or maybe he to beef up the receiver core because they do need wide receivers.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's in love with like Brock Bowers or Dallas Turner, or just wants like a lockdown corner because their secondary's pretty But
Yeah.
but with talent, when you're at 5 like that, it's kind of tough. And I don't think you can just kind of pass up, a talent like Joe Alt.
Yeah.
Or they might go with Shanu as well, but
For sure.
that would be totally fine as well. But I think that it's gonna be Joe Alt. He seems like a Charger to me.
No, yeah. I've foreseen it. And I mean, for me, this pick could either be either of the top 2 tackles, Alt or Fashanu, although that is also controversial to people. It could be one of Adunze or Neighbors, depending on who Arizona picks. It could be Bowers, because apparently John Harbaugh loves his tight ends.
He does love tight ends, and Gerald Everett is not going to be doing it much longer.
And or they could trade down. That's why for me that like this like butterfly effect happens at number 5 for me. Because I mean, getting Joe, like if I'm the Chargers GM, I'm getting Joe Alt for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Having Slater and Alt as your tackles for however many years they'll be together.
Yeah, protect your guy.
Like that's perfect.
Like Justin Herbert will have as much time as he wants in the pocket.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm going with Alt.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty concise there. I still think that that's prime trade now in candidacy, but
100%.
But yeah. All right, and here's another real. This one, a Giants pick at 6.
Yes.
They after last year, not looking good for them.
Not really at all.
The quarterback situation is rough.
Bad.
The wide receiver situation is bad. The O-line is bad.
Yes.
And you have a top pick at all 3 of those positions. You have a top 3 quarterback, a top 3 receiver, and a top 2 lineman at that position. What do you do? If you're Brian Dable, do you commit? Do you just fully move on from Daniel Jones? Do you try and give him some help finally, or do you just protect him a little bit and take kind of like the cop out?
For me, I'm taking Fashanu here because the Giants were I think there were so many worst lines in the league last year that I don't know which is actually ranked in what order.
Giants has to be low.
But I think Giants is like bottom 3 at the least.
Yeah. It's pretty close to lowest.
And so again, it's the same thing for me with and also like these like New York teams. I'm like, are these people like I can't picture Jaden Daniels playing football for them. You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm like, get Fashanu. Whoever's gonna, whether it's Daniel Jones, whether it's Tommy DeVito, or whatever, whoever else they're gonna trot out there in a Giants uniform. At the very least, they should be protected. And then if you want to go QB next year, or if there's a free agent QB that you're trying to sign, you'll have like your tackle for the future. And so that was mine.
And I get that mindset. I think this is the year that they finally bite the bullet and give Daniel Jones some help. I think they finally make that choice and finally.
That wasn't last year when they got
Darren Waller.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that.
I feel like they've invested so much into that wide receiver core, like that.
Darius Slayton and Darren Waller, who was like 30 and didn't pan out at all, and like Kadarius Toney.
Oh yeah.
Like their investment. Who's what's his name? Wandale Robinson. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
supposed to be good.
Oh, and also whoever they drafted last year. Jalen Hyatt.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah.
He did not have a good season.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no. I think it's just finally time that they bite the bullet and give him some real help, and they go with Malik Neighbors.
That's fair. That's completely fair. I think although you know those memes where like that popped up whenever like Joe Burrow was after his first year,
Oh,
and it was like get Jamar Chase, and like
it's Jamar
he's
Chase
getting like
open,
tackled and the ball
tackled.
is short,
Yeah.
and it's Penei Sewell, and he's like protected, and it's like anybody or whatever.
Mhm.
For this one, it's like even if they had a good line and they had Malik Neighbors, the ball is still short. That would be funny to me.
That's fair.
Not that you know. For the other alternative, this would be Fashanu, and then it would be like nobody.
Yeah.
So
Darren Waller at 32 or however old he is.
yeah, I think any way that the Giants go here, I think Giants fans should be happy with. And like even getting Jaden Daniels here, I wouldn't hate as much as I would have New England, especially because at least like they have like something there. Like at least they have like sort of a defense.
Yeah, I was about to say at least they have a defense. I guess the offense is just as bad, especially if Barkley leaves. If Barkley leaves, then you're done.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Apparently he had interest in
The Texans.
Yeah, that was. I was like, okay,
Oh, that'd be so exciting.
That would. I mean, I'm all here for that. Especially with I don't know who you have the Texans selecting, but or we can get to that.
You'll see.
We can get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have the Titans picking at pick number 7. Okay, so just to recap, I went with Neighbors. You went with
Fashanu. Yes.
Okay.
And at 7, who do you have?
I have the Titans protecting their quarterback and getting Fashanu here.
That's smart. And I've seen that mocked many a time, and not that I blame anyone for that at all, because it just things that just make sense. The Titans also bottom 5 team in O-line.
Yeah.
They could certainly use it. And they could still go O-line even with the way that my board fell. But
yeah, Fuaga's still there, JC Latham. You definitely could. But who do you have?
I have Rome Odunze going here, which my thought process was like, I don't know who Will Levis is at this moment, but I think we could certainly find out a little bit more with Rome Odunze over there.
That's fair.
They need wide receiver bad for sure. They got D-Hop and like that's it. And so getting Rome here, I think, I don't know, like this was one of my fits that I feel like just made a lot of sense to me.
I definitely see where you're coming from, and I toyed with the idea of like Titans picking wide receiver for a second, and I remember thinking about it, and I was like, would it make more sense to get Neighbors here to get the opposite style D-Hop, or would you want Rome here? That way he can learn under his 10 years older version of himself,
right?
And like maybe learn something else and be able to thrive, because like D-Hop's gonna know how to tutor someone like Odunze, who's it's the same player. It's the wide catch radius. It's the talented ball tracking and just the physicality and the size.
Absolutely.
And and D-Hop made a great career out of it. So
absolutely.
If he can tutor Odunze, I think that'd be super entertaining.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be a great fit for Odunze.
Whoever Will Levis is throwing to, they're coming down with the ball.
I was just about to say that contested catch percentage in Tennessee would be insane.
It would be so crazy. Is Rome Odunze the one who has like the 75% contested catch?
No, I don't think it's 75. I think it's like 60. It's high 60s, low 70s, which is still really good. I think the 75% that you're thinking of is George Pickens.
Oh, maybe you're right. maybe
Because
you're
I know
right.
his is like ridiculous. His is like 75, maybe 80, bro.
Yeah.
His
I know Adunze's
is
is
crazy.
like way above average.
Yeah,
though.
no, Doomsday's is like I'm pretty sure it's the best in coming out of college, which I mean makes sense.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a top 5 or 6 pick. So
Yes. Oh, I guess we're not at 5 or 6. I was gonna say, speaking of top 5 or 6 picks,
time
number
for pick
8.
8.
Number 8. Who do you have going to Atlanta?
Atlanta here at 8. I think this is just it's the one that makes sense. They need defense, and this is like the only pick that I've seen for Atlanta. Dallas Turner.
Hmm.
His tape's great. He's got the most potential. He's just he's a freak. He's a freak, and
Absolutely.
he's gonna be good. So I mean, and where Atlanta's at, especially if they trade for Justin Fields, where Atlanta's at, they need to beef up that defense, and the best way to do it is just get the best edge in the draft.
I think that's completely valid. That's also a mock that I've seen quite a
Mhm.
bit. And, that makes sense as well. They need help on the defense, especially someone who can pressure the quarterback. And so I like that pick for them. For me, the thought process that I went with going into this was like, I mean, because I've said on this podcast before, like, what if Justin Fields went to Atlanta? And if that happens, I'll be all for it. But here I have them picking someone very similar to him, and that's Jaden Daniels.
Instead of getting Justin Fields, they're just gonna draft him instead.
Yeah, basically. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's a good pick for them because people are talking about like trading up, and people are talking about JJ McCarthy going in the top 12. And if Jaden Daniels is falling to 8, and one of the biggest needs for that Atlanta offense is someone who can run it, I think Jaden Daniels is that guy.
If the Patriots pick Marv, then Jaden Daniels can 100% fall to 8.
Oh,
I think it's 100% possible Jaden Daniels will fall to 8.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, again, like, New England picking Marvin Harrison Jr. just makes sense to me. And so that's why I had Jaden Daniels falling. Even though that, like, hey, maybe the Giants could pick him. Even Tennessee could pick him if you really want to get crazy with it. But for me, I think it's Jaden Daniels.
That's fair. That's a good one. I like that. It mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. For some reason, I just don't think they're gonna do it. Maybe it's just because I think someone else is gonna trade up and get Jaden Daniels, or I just don't think that. I think that we're underestimating where he's gonna fall.
Yeah, me too. Cause my thing is like, I can't get a read on Jaden Daniels, but I know teams like him, and I wouldn't be if he did make it to, like, that's best case scenario for Atlanta.
For Atlanta, that is the best case scenario. But I mean, the Patriots are there; they could draft him. The Commanders could definitely trade down. The Chargers could 100% trade down. The Giants could definitely draft him. The Titans could trade down. Anything could happen there. And I know a lot of players. I know he's talked to like 4 or 5 teams. The Saints were one of the teams that he talked to.
Ooh, okay.
I know he may not be. He's not the most talented in this draft class. I think he's fun to watch though, and I would love if he was a Saint. I think I would love for us to draft him.
Imagine.
I don't know if I want us to trade up for him.
Sure. Yeah.
Because then we're giving up assets that we already don't have, and like we're not in a place to like start a rebuild right now.
Right.
Or like we're not in a place in a rebuild to like draft a quarterback. Like that's not going to fix any issues that we have. But it'd be fun.
Absolutely. I would love to see that as well. And also the reason I like this fit is because like Jaden Daniels is already playing with NFL weapons in Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Imagine if he was playing with Kyle Pitts and Drake London and everyone else they got over there.
That'd be a crazy college team.
I know, right?
Like Jaden Daniels, Heisman winner Jaden Daniels, along with Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. That's a nasty college team.
Yeah.
That's a nasty prospects team. That's like the all prospects team of the 2020s.
No, literally, literally. Alrighty. So at number 9.
Number 9, we have Chicago picking again. They got their franchise quarterback, and I think they're getting them some help. Give me Brock Bowers with the 9th pick.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
You know, that's not a bad pick at all, especially with the speaking of all college prospects, Brock Bowers is, you know, the only reason he's made it this far is because of positional value. And
because the Falcons already have a tight end, so they're not going to pick him again.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Hey, maybe Raheem loves to run those dual tight end.
Oh man, I would hate to see that. No, yeah, that's I think that's a good pick for them for sure. I have Tyrese Fuaga going here because
makes sense.
As far as I don't think Chicago is quite like the worst pass. I think I actually looked this up because I wanted to make sure I wasn't like crazy with them going for a tackle here. But I have I think they were like the 26th or 28th worst O-line in the league.
That makes sense.
Which and the other thing is I believe they picked a tackle last year. And so like I guess the thing is if you believe in that guy, I wish I knew his name. Sorry, but I don't. But if you are a believer in that tackle, then maybe you don't go tackle here. But for me, my theme through all of these offensive line picks is like just like shoring things up, making sure that like you're not gonna you're not gonna be fucked basically. I think that's important, and even if you like
Darnell Wright, okay, so
yeah, Darnell Wright, and so
they definitely need interior line more than they need tackles, but I see the vision. Just get a good O lineman is what you need.
Basically, yeah. O-lineman. Get that room full of some guys.
Yeah, when in doubt, when you're a bad team, just get a good O lineman.
Yeah,
they have like the highest success rate. Whenever you're drafting in the earlier rounds, just because it's hard to miss on guys, and because like you just got to be big and fast and strong. So just have good technique, and it's easy to see those things like clearly in college. It translates easier. So yeah, it's a good safe pick, and it'll help Justin Fields for sure, and he needs it.
If Justin Fields is there.
If Justin Fields is there.
Not in this mock draft though. It'll be Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, yeah. Get Caleb Williams the protection then.
Yeah. I do and also my thought process going into this is the Bears can probably get a wide receiver in the second round if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they probably could. I mean, you can reach for someone like, Ladd McConkey or you can wait and try and get someone like Ladd McConkey or there's like 8 or 9 guys I can name off the top of my head. Like no way all of them are gone by 30.
I wouldn't
or it
mind.
would be like 40. It wouldn't be 33. It'd be like 40.
Not to be like spoiler alert or anything, but if they got like Troy Franklin,
he could fall. Xavier Legette could fall.
True.
They definitely do have some options in the second round that they can go for.
Even Xavier Worthy
for sure.
I don't know what wide receivers you have going in the first round because this was very hard for me.
This was hard as well. It's a great wide receiver class, but I also don't know how many teams actually need wide receivers. And I think the fall off is just a little too much.
Yeah.
After
the top 3.
After the top 3, I think the fall off is a little too much for there to be like a ton of wide receivers taken in the first round. Because like there's a lot of great wide receivers, but I don't know if like there's necessarily more than like 3 or 4 round 1 wide receivers.
True.
Like that you would like be like, I feel good that I left the first round of the NFL draft with this player and stuff. So I don't know. It's definitely tough, but we'll see. Rounding out the top 10, we have our 10th pick, the New York Jets. And with this, it was a pretty simple analysis for this for me. You have a 40-year-old quarterback who injured his Achilles on the first play of the game after immediately getting pressured. There's no way in hell you don't get a tackle here or
Yeah.
some sort of lineman. So I gave them Flaga,
Yeah.
at least Flaga.
And that's I mean, great pick.
Yeah.
Great pick for them. Unfortunately for the Jets in my scenario, he got picked one pick before them. And so I gave them Brock Bowers because that's protection, sort of, and also, a weapon to pair with Garrett Wilson. And so.
Does anyone know, does Brock Bowers believe in vaccines or not? How is his and Aaron Rodgers' relationship going to be?
Well, we'll see, I guess. But Aaron Rodgers, you will have 1 year to play with Brock Bowers before you are ran out of the league, because do we really expect him to play more than this year?
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't.
This is his little last glory ride.
It's gotta be. It
has to be, man.
Get him out of here, man. My turnaround on Aaron Rodgers has been insane. He went from being my literal favorite quarterback currently playing to I do not give a shit about him anymore. I don't want to play with you anymore.
I don't want to play with you anymore. Yeah. So okay, that's fair. So we just flipped Flaga and Bowers.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you have at 11 going to Minnesota?
Minnesota, I've drafted different people every time I've done one of these drafts, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent up top at this position, and Minnesota needs a lot. My recurring theme though has been to give them help in the secondary, because they need secondary help. So I've been my most, I guess, recurring pick has been Terrion Arnold, cornerback from Alabama.
That's pretty fair.
And I just think that's, I think they need secondary help, and might as well shore up that defense. And I don't know if you're Minnesota, I don't know where you quite go from here, because you're not gonna be a great team.
Yeah.
You don't have the talent. You have Justin Jefferson, so you're gonna have at least a productive-ish offense, but you just don't have the talent. And I don't know. And Kirk Cousins is just getting older and still not that good. And it's just
Isn't he a free agent this year?
He might be. I think he's pretty close to it. So do you pay him? And then Alexander Madison, they just released him.
They did just release him.
So what's your plan? So I just fuck it. Just take a corner, whichever corner you like. Whether you like Quinion Mitchell more, or Nate Wiggins,
Cooper DeJean.
But I think Terrion Arnold has he's gonna test well, and I think he's gonna have a good combine. So I think that'll bump him up the boards. So
fair enough. I think where do I have him going? Oh, interesting. Well, I think I don't really the corners this year are hard for me. I don't really know what to think about them, especially versus another. I think Terrion Arnold is I think the consensus number 1 right now.
It's tough. You ask
really
different
is
people,
tough.
they say different things.
But since the board has fallen in the way that it has for me, I have Minnesota picking Dallas Turner here, because who knows what's gonna happen with because they just re-signed him again.
Danielle Hunter?
Yeah, Danielle Hunter. He's gonna be a free agent this year, and so who knows what's gonna happen with that. And I think the key to a good defense starts in the trenches.
Yeah.
So I think they go Dallas Turner here, who is the most polished edge rusher in this class, I'd say. He has the best profile out of anyone here, whether that's just an overall thing, because there's guys like Latu who's more of a like refined in his like moves and
It's just a pass rushing demon.
yeah. And so
and I think Dallas Turner has the most potential out of all the edge rushers. He has the most potential to improve.
I think that if we're talking about I mean we'll get to this later, but there's plenty of great edge rushers in this draft.
Yeah. I had Jared Verse going to them in a couple drafts.
Oh, nice.
Or in one of my drafts, I had Verse going to the Vikings. So I see what you mean with like starting in the trenches and just getting some help on that D line. All right, next up, we got the Denver Broncos, which is another tough pick for me.
Denver was definitely
it's a weird one, and so I think that they, especially with all the mess that's happening with Russ, I think this is where I finally drop off Jaden Daniels.
Oh, okay.
And I think if they're sitting here at what is this 12? Yeah. I think if they're sitting there at 12 and Jaden Daniels is still on the board, I think they're gonna be like, okay, like if we have to.
Bro, now I've foreseen it, and I know now that they're picking Nate Wiggins at this pick because that's what happened in the year with Justin Fields.
Oh.
I was like, the Broncos gotta pick him here, right?
Yeah.
And then they picked a fucking corner, bro.
Then they picked. I mean,
which ended up working out.
I was about to say they did pick Passer Fan, so
yeah, who is like a top 5 corner in the league right now.
Yeah.
So well, actually, I don't know. Because there's so many great corners in the league right now.
There are some great corners in the league right now.
But you said, who did you have them picking?
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, Jaden Daniels. Right. Speaking of Jared Verse, I have him going here.
That's fair.
Because of because of their secondary, I thought let's get an edge rusher in there to make sure it's even better. So that's what I have them going with.
Fair. Not much to really defend there. Next up, we got the Raiders picking at pick number 13. The Raiders. Raider Nation. And they need a lot.
They do.
They need a lot of stuff. And when you need a lot, what do? You pick a tackle.
Yeah, you have the same guy going here?
I have J.C. Latham.
I do as well.
Yeah. Probably the pretty consensus 4th best tackle in the league, or in the class.
Yeah.
So, people can throw Maurice Mims in there as well, and whoever gets him will also be happy with him. But yeah, I mean, just get a tackle and
call it a day.
And start your rebuild with your new head coach.
Oh, true.
Yeah. I did see something about like them like potentially trading up because Jaden Daniels played with Antonio Pierce at Arizona State.
Oh, no way.
Before the Antonio Pierce got caught cheating, and then everyone broke away, and then Jaden Daniels went to LSU. So yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, oh man, I hate it when people are like, these players had a former connection, and then it's like, oh, the rumor machine go.
Oh, who was it? Who just hired Josh McCown? Was it the Vikings? The Vikings just hired Josh McCown to be like their quarterback's coach, and he coached the high school team that Drake May played on.
Oh, I saw that, bro. That's what made me think of that too, I think.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that back to my memory. That's so funny. I thought he was with the Oh, wait, no, he played for the Eagles.
And then there's Cliff Kingsbury, who got hired by the Cardinals this year to be their offensive coordinator, and he got hired from USC with Caleb Williams.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Imagine.
Kyler
Murray and your first for Caleb Williams, who says no. But yeah, I also have J.C. Latham here. They need a tackle.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Simple as that.
Cash in that pick.
Next up, we got my Saints with pick number 14. And I don't care if it's because I want it so bad, or I don't care if it's not the smartest pick. Give me Latu. Give him to me. Give me Latu. I need him. I need him biblically.
That's also who I have going to you at this pick.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, the Saints could use another edge rusher,
100%. And
like
he's
they do
injury
every
prone.
year.
He's injury prone, bro. We love injury prone people. Please don't mess this up, Saints. Please.
I would have had J.C. Latham going here if not for the pick just before that.
Yeah.
That seems to be a theme so far. With tackles specifically, actually, with the Jets and Saints needing a tackle and it going a pick before.
And we
them.
definitely do need a tackle. I'm not gonna sit here and say that we don't need a tackle, because we definitely do.
If you guys picked Amarius Mims here, how would you feel about that?
I wouldn't be upset at that. I'm really just tired of the boring picks.
I mean, that's fair. That's completely fair.
I want some excitement in my life, and I want, and our defense is bad. Our defensive line is bad. Our defensive line is very bad, and I want some excitement there. We got Brian Bresee to be the interior. Now we need someone on the exterior because Cameron Jordan is 38 years old or some shit.
God damn.
And we need to start looking elsewhere. So I want us to go with Latu. I wouldn't be upset at Amarius Mims though. I think he's gonna be a great talent, and it would be a big help to our offensive line where Penning is bad and Ramczyk is hurt a lot, and Ruiz might retire soon, and it's just there's a lot of mess at our offensive line. So having someone like that would definitely help.
At number 15, who do you have going to Indianapolis?
Indianapolis is tough. They just like to pick the biggest freak athlete that they can. Literally, just look at like the RAS score. Whoever tests the highest.
Oh, true.
Out of that group, just give him to him. Just put him in there. Why not?
That makes me almost want to switch my pick now, which is funny because for some of these, I have like 2 picks next to them just for like whatever, just other things that I've mocked to them. Or I kind of interrupted you, but who did you?
You're good. I went like back and forth on a lot of these, and I'm still currently going back and forth in this one as well. But I think that they're gonna see the raw talent or the raw just freakish tank that is Amarius Mims, and I think they're gonna fall in love with him.
Hey, that's not a bad pick.
I mean the offensive line isn't their biggest need, but give your star quarterback who loves to take hits, give him a little bit more protection and let him take a few less hits at least.
Hey, that's smart. And I feel like the theme for this draft so far has been like getting your guy some protection. And maybe that's just because there's so many great tackles in the first round.
Yeah.
But for me, I have Indianapolis selecting Cooper DeJean here. Hold the phone, as the first defensive back off the board. That's kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
The reason I went with Cooper DeJean over, for example, Nate Wiggins, who I also have in the box right next to him, is just because they have a serious need for secondary over there.
That's
and
fair.
Cooper DeJean can do it all over there. So
one other guy that I think has that dog in him that the Colts could fall in love with is Quinton Mitchell as well. Quinton Mitchell, he...
Don't say it to me.
I know, it's tough. But he does have that dog in him, unfortunately.
The thing that I was thinking about is Nate Wiggins is also like an athletic freak.
I definitely know teams have been eyeing Nate Wiggins. I have a vibe for where he's going to get picked as well, but you'll see that when that comes up. I don't know why I have such a strong feeling about this, but you'll see whenever it comes up. Next up, though, we got the Seattle Seahawks at pick number 16. Who you got?
I got Jerzon Newton going here. They have a great secondary, but their line isn't too great. and they got Boye Mafe either last year or the year before, I forget. But he's coming into his own, and so put a guy in there on the interior for him. Seattle has historically had a terrible line, so they need let's beef it up with the best defensive tackle.
That's fair. I like the approach, and I was thinking Byron Murphy as well. I decided to go a little bit different though and give them Jared Verse
Oh,
to
okay.
get some edge. Yeah, similar idea though. Their D line needs help. They have a great secondary. Just beef up that D line and let the defense cook under Mike McDonald. I think
Oh,
Mike
true,
McDonald
true.
getting Jared Verse to work with would
Oh man.
just adding on to the already insane personnel on that defensive side.
As a Rams fan, I would hate that. I would hate both of these picks, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But they're probably gonna go defense, and I'll hate whatever they do. So
Yep. So next
I also do have Byron Murphy right next to Jerzon Newton in the Seattle one.
Yeah. Next up, pick number 17, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I don't know why. I can't get out of my head that they're gonna pick Nate Wiggins.
Oh, no way.
That's just what I have. That's like every mock draft I've gotten to that point and I've been like, yeah, they're picking Wiggins. I don't know why. I mean, they need the help in the secondary.
For sure.
And I don't know why Quinion doesn't speak to me as much to the Jaguars as Nate Wiggins does. Nate Wiggins just seems like such a Jaguar.
It makes also from Clemson.
Yeah. Also from Clemson. They like their Clemson boys there. And I don't know. Nate Wiggins just seems like that guy.
That's funny because I agree with you in this mock draft. I also have Terrion Arnold right next to him, so it really could be either of these guys for me. And so, but yeah, Jacksonville definitely needs corner. I've also heard Jackson Powers Johnson thrown around for them.
That's fair.
But
that makes sense.
Right now, I got Nate Wiggins. Who do you have going to Cincinnati?
Cincinnati is tough.
Especially with the way that your board has fallen. I have no idea who you could possibly be picking here for them.
To me, I have three that I'm kind of going between where I'm like any three of these. My thoughts are you keeping T. Higgins? That's a big decider.
True.
Are you keeping T. Higgins?
Aren't they franchise tagging him?
Oh, they did franchise tag him.
Oh, they did? Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure they did.
That's what I heard.
I'm pretty sure.
I think.
So
breaking news. I'm not gonna put that on record.
So eliminate that. So give him some help on the defensive side. And I think that the easiest way to do that is just to beef up the defensive line, and you don't need edge as much because you got like Trey Hendrickson over there. So I say go with Byron Murphy here.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have a reason for liking Byron Murphy more than Jerzon Newton?
I don't really. I don't. I wish I could say I've gone more into defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman, but I've not. I just know that Byron Murphy is very freaky, and he is athletic, and he is a shop wrecker. So I think he gives that strength that they need on that defensive line. He's a big guy, and he's gonna wreck shop. So
I believe it. For me, I have them going Amarius Mims here because he fell to them, and I think that Cincinnati needs a little bit more help on their line. I'm pretty sure they got the guy from the Ravens at their tackle position. Who is that?
On the Bengals?
Yeah. He has like a hyphenated name, I think.
Oh, are you talking about Orlando Brown?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Orlando Brown Jr.
Yeah, Orlando Brown Jr.
Yeah, and he's not that good anymore, I don't think. So,
They definitely, I mean, as has been the scenario with the past 4 years in Cincinnati, they need O-line help.
definitely. And so, if they can get a Marius Mims at 18, I think that's a dream scenario for them. All right, number 19.
You're
I
the LA
mean,
Rams.
we're going Quinyon Mitchell, man. I hope so. I hope so. He's been my guy this whole draft process. I'm pretty sure. I don't know when I fell in love with him. I think it was just like hearing the way that he was described, like tall corner, speedy fast, long arms that can swat away passes, and it just reminded me of Jalen Ramsey, and it also reminded me of Sauce specifically. Like, I'm not saying these are his comps or anything at all, but I'm saying that like just the physical traits remind me of those players. And so I believe I've also said this before, but um, after we lost to the Lions, I was pretty dead set on getting Edge any way or how or whatever. Um, but if we got Quinyon Mitchell, man, like just take Edge for the rest of the draft and hit on someone the way that the shotgun approach that we did to last year's draft. So
Just do that with only edge.
basically, yeah,
Take the
there's
best-
gonna be someone
Just
there.
take the best edge available every single round.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, no, I understand the appeal, and similar to how you picked Latu for the Saints, I gave you your Quinion Mitchell pick.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I thought it was only right. I mean, I definitely think you could go corner here, or the Rams could go corner here, and I think I still have Cooper DeJean on my board, so I can definitely see them going down there as well.
That wouldn't be too terrible.
But I like the fit of Quinion Mitchell. I think he fits into their play style pretty well.
Yeah, and also Jackson Powers Johnson isn't a bad pick there as well, especially when we released our center.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe we're trying to get in talks with our I don't know if he's a center, I don't know if he's a guard, but Coleman Shelton is a guy that we've had on our team for a while. And I think he would play center for us if we were to re-sign him. But I think that's up in the air at the moment.
I almost gave y'all Jackson Powers Johnson with this pick, and I was thinking about that one. And ironically, I gave him to the next team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
As did I.
Did
As
you?
did I, yeah.
I mean, if he wasn't a center, he'd be a top 10 pick. This guy's gonna be good. So, and the Steelers need offensive line. They need someone to protect Kenny Rudolph, whoever
Kenny
it is,
Rudolph.
Mason Pickett, whoever ends up throwing that ball.
JJ McCarthy.
Steelers trade up to get JJ McCarthy. Oh God.
They'd basically just be getting any of the other quarterbacks they already have. That's disrespectful.
That is disrespectful to all three of those quarterbacks. But man, I don't know. I just know that they need interior offensive line, and
For sure.
Jackson Powers Johnson is gonna be good. So
That's the most like Steeler name I feel like I've
it is
ever
a very Steeler name.
like. Jackson Powers Johnson is the most Steeler coded player that I think I've ever like. This is also one of those guys where I'm like, that just makes sense to me. Especially if we get Quinyon Mitchell Steelers, you can have him. You can have JPJ. I don't care. We got our guy.
And this leaves an interesting pick for me for the Dolphins. Because I have a guy who shouldn't have fallen this far, but he just so happened to. And if you are the Dolphins, then like why not? Why not take Cooper DeJean?
Exactly.
Why not go with this super versatile corner who's sneaky fast and is just able to would really thrive in that like slot ish role.
Right.
You just released Xavier Howard.
True.
You I think they're like gonna or something
I
like
think
that.
they informed him they would be doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So you got rid of Xavier Howard. You need the corner help, and Cooper DeJean can take in that role. I mean, your corner room wasn't exactly healthy last year, so
Yep.
it definitely had its worries. So get some fresh guys in there, and I think Cooper DeJean would be a good fit.
And replace fuck, I was literally trying to think of his name the entire time you were talking, but the um it's like so close to me. It's
Eli Apple.
no, whoever their safety was that they traded to the Steelers. Fucking M. It's his name starts with an M.
Marcus.
I mean, he still is one of the best safeties in the game right now. And he's on the Steelers. He
On
used
the
to be on the
Steelers?
Dolphins. Minka Fitzpatrick. Minka
Oh,
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Get your Minka Fitzpatrick replacement all these
Yes.
years later.
Yes.
But yeah. Oh, but for me, Cooper DeJean is off the board. The other corners that I really like, well, not all of them, but Troy Fautanu is my pick here.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I did have them going O-line in a bunch of drafts as well.
Yeah.
If the Steelers didn't pick Jackson Powers Johnson, I was gonna go there.
And yeah, I mean this Fautanu makes sense to me here. It's also just one of those ones that like I feel the vibes, very vibes based pick here. But they also need O-line, so
that's fair. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles.
I hate that I'm giving them Terrion Arnold. I'll tell you that.
It's kind of crazy that he fell that far in your draft.
But it was either that or like Nate Wiggins or even like yeah, I mean like I feel like they're or even I had them getting Cooper DeJean in one of my earlier versions of this. I don't know if I mentioned that on the podcast last time, but yeah, I think Philadelphia, if we're talking about cornerback rooms who are injured / just straight up not good, Philadelphia, that's you.
I almost gave them Kamari Lassiter, the Georgia corner, just because it's Georgia and it's funny and like why wouldn't they?
Georgia team.
Yeah, the all Georgia team. But I think that they will abandon the Georgia trend in favor of Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think.
Fair enough.
I think they're going corner. I think they have to go corner.
Yeah,
and they're
definitely.
gonna go corner here. But yeah, I think Kool-Aid McKinstry I think is the safe pick or like the easy pick there. I'm looking back at some of my other drafts and apparently I did have Terrion Arnold falling to the Eagles.
Oh no way!
In one of them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because there's only so many teams. Because especially if you're not picking, like, did Denver pick an edge rusher in that one?
No, Denver picked Jaden Daniels, but
that's
but Bengals picked Jazon Newton.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many teams that need cornerback. That's why I'm like hoping and praying for Quinyon Mitchell because like there's a very real possibility. I'm doing the fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia like conspiracy board right now, trying to because I was looking at Theo Ash's mock draft the other day, and I think he has Quinyon Mitchell going to the Broncos at 12, and I was like, I hated him for it because I was like, I can see it happening, and you know, just the way that once he tests at the combine, man, I think it's over, bro. I think it's so over.
Might be over.
I think he's pretty safely cornerback 2. And if he's not cornerback 2 at the moment, I think he will be come draft time. And so whoever picks the second cornerback, or even if you view like Cooper DeJean as like a safety or just as like defensive back or whatever, that's also why I have hope, because I'm like, if it's Terrion Arnold / Nate Wiggins before Quinyon Mitchell, and then Cooper DeJean as like your second defensive back off the board, there's like run the simulation 10 times. We're getting Quinyon Mitchell maybe like 3 or 4 of those times.
There is a situation where you can get it. There is a situation where you can get Quinyon Mitchell for sure. Next up though, we got at pick number 23. We got the Houston Texans, and you know you're looking up. You're looking up. It's looking good. Things are looking good, and I think you continue to add on to that, and you add a receiver to that room and add a weapon to that room, and you give them Brian Thomas Jr. That is who I have at this pick right here.
Great pick. That's also who I have there.
Nice, nice. I think he's the 4th best receiver in the. I mean, there's the drop off after Neighbors and Odunze, but then I think, but that doesn't mean that Brian Thomas Jr. isn't going to be a great receiver.
Oh, for sure.
There's a couple more that might sneak up and take that spot. Keon Coleman has been making moves.
Oh, really? I thought, at least from my understanding, I think he's been falling down the draft board.
Some people haven't been liking him as much. I saw some picks where I saw one where the Saints drafted him at 14.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Please no. Because I mean, I like him, but we need stuff more than Keon Coleman. Especially if Latu was still there. But I think that Brian Thomas is the 4th best receiver in this class, and I think that adding him to that Texans receiver room would be scary, and I would love to see it.
It would be. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr. They also got guys like Noah Brown and Robert Woods over there. Basically, there's not really. And then they also got, I don't know if he's a free agent right now or anything, but they also got that Cowboys tight end. Former Cowboys tight end.
Dalton Schultz.
Yes. But yeah, I also have Brian Thomas Jr. Fast, 6'4". What else? What else are you gonna say about him? That's pretty much it from LSU. Notoriously good wide receivers come out of LSU, so
LSU is wide receiver university.
Absolutely. So,
or it's developed into it at least.
I think that I think Houston will be very happy with whoever they go here. They could also pick offensive line because their O-line was pretty banged up last year.
Yeah. And I could definitely see them getting, I have Troy Fatanu on my board still, Tyler Guyton.
Troy Fatano's still there. I don't know. I just like the fit so much with Brian Thomas Jr.
That's fair.
Do you have Dallas getting Fatanu?
With Dallas, listen. With Dallas.
Dallas fans, you're not gonna like this.
No. Hear me out. With Dallas, my draft strategy last year. Keep in mind, Dallas was the only pick that I got right last year.
Oh, no way. Wait, who did they pick last year?
Not last year. 2 years ago.
Oh.
Because that was the year they got Tyler Smith, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because that was the Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson year. Because I didn't get any picks right because I picked Aiden Hutchinson going first.
Oh.
And then I had Trayvon Walker second. So I technically didn't get any picks right.
That's funny.
A single one. Except for Dallas. And I got that pick right because my strategy was Tyler Smith. I didn't know even who he was when I made my draft. My strategy was I'm going to scroll and I'm going to see who the whitest sounding offensive lineman name. I was like, what's the whitest sounding offensive lineman name in this draft? And it worked.
It worked.
Funny. Keep in mind, I did not know that Tyler Smith was not white. I was like, it's white sounding. I was like, maybe Jerry Jones wouldn't know either. So I just did that. And for that reason, Dallas is drafting Tyler Guyton.
That's who I have them drafting as well. Yeah, that's so funny. As you were just saying that, I was like, oh no way, we have the same pick
no
there.
way,
That's so
Tyler
funny.
Guyton.
Our board has been scarily the same.
It's been pretty similar.
That's so funny.
We haven't talked about outside of the main ones like our teams and the main the big names. We haven't talked that much about it.
Yeah, that's really funny, because Here I thought I was being unique with my picks. I thought I had
Nope.
I thought I had the eye into the
Sheep.
NFL. I
Sheep.
guess I'm just like the rest of them, man.
Sheeple.
But no, yeah, Tyler Guyton going to Dallas. For me, that's just because Fatanu and Mims are gone. So
Mhm.
I think they do go tackle here because they need it. And they'd be able to get Tyler Smith and Tyler Guyton,
Mhm.
and they'd get younger on offensive line, which would be good for them.
Mhm. They need some I listened to at my work they play the Dallas, this local show of like four dudes who like talk about Dallas sports and stuff,
Mhm.
and they've been talking a lot about Dallas offensive line and like how
Mm.
they need a replacement and everything. So it makes me think that they're going offensive line. So that's where I went.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers at pick 25, and here is where I have Troy Fautanu going.
Oh, okay.
I think get some help. Jordan Love was balling out at the end of last season. Get him some protection. Simple as that. David Bakhtiari might be getting released.
True.
And that's a big loss.
True.
Get a tackle. There's plenty in this draft, so get one.
For me, I have them going Kool-Aid McKinstry here.
Mm.
Because also similarly, I don't know what the deal with Jesus, why can't I think of guys' names today? I'm usually on this. Jair Alexander. Who knows what the situation with him? I think he's due for a contract.
I'm pretty sure he is getting pretty close to due.
Whether they get something done or not, I don't know. But either way, I still think they need a corner. And for me, Kool-Aid McKinstry is still on the board. And I think that Green Bay can walk away happy with that.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick number 26, and they kind of need a little bit of everything. Mike Evans might walk, so they might be needing help there. Their defense is all old. They're losing like everyone on defense. You're wondering where you go from here. There's so many ways to go, and when in doubt, you beef up the trenches. So I got them getting Chop Robinson.
Oh, no way.
Yep, the Penn State edge. I got them chopping it.
Speaking of guys who have the highest potential in this draft, Chop Robinson, man. I think he's
Chop
gonna
Robinson. He's special, man.
Bro, I've seen some of his tape, and
Did you see his 40 time?
He ran like a 4.49.
Yeah, something crazy.
Dallas Turner ran a 4.47, which surprised me.
Damn.
Yeah. And so that's why I was like, all right, Dallas, you are the number one edge in this.
Chop ran a 4.48.
4.48.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy, man.
Oh my god.
He is so explosive. It's scary, bro.
The Saints.
And his name is fucking Chop.
Yeah, no. He passes the name test already.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's like that's guarantee. Also, side note, the Saints just released Marcus May.
Marcus May.
The safety.
Right.
Yeah. He was alright. I ain't gonna cry over that.
Cooper DeJean, you are a saint.
Please. That would be sick.
I foresee it. Well, that's not good because that means corner goes one pick earlier.
Yeah.
Quinyon, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say
Quinyon Mitchell, you are a saint.
I was gonna say a Jag.
Oh, a Jag, yeah.
Because I've seen that mocked a lot as well,
Really?
and I'm like, he's so close.
Yeah. Yeah, Dallas Turner 4.47 40 time. That's crazy.
Yo, if I'm LA, I am calling up Seattle and being like, do you want? I promise you, whoever you want is gonna be there, but we need a corner.
That's fair.
And then Seattle will be like, fuck you, we hate you, and I'll be like, I guess that's fair.
Wait, so who do you have Tampa Bay getting?
Oh, I have Tampa Bay getting Ennis Rakestraw Jr.
Oh, okay.
Because they need a corner.
They do need a corner.
And he's the best that's left on the board. There's also Kamari Lassiter out there. But based on like other people's evaluations of the corners, I felt like Ennis Rakestraw Jr. here is he's probably cornerback like 5 question mark.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's pretty sad that it's Rakestraw after that.
And so Tampa Bay, and who knows if they're going to keep Antoine Winfield Jr. I think they should.
I think they should.
If you're Tampa Bay, you should re-sign that man.
Yeah, I definitely think that you should if you're Tampa Bay.
And your D line is still good.
As a Saints fan, let him walk. I can't stand that man. He's got that dog in him though. I will admit.
You do.
Next up, we got the Cardinals at pick 27. They previously got Marvin Harrison Jr. in our mocks. No, they didn't. They got a wide receiver already, either a Dunze or Neighbors. Pick your poison. So I think that they're gonna go with a little defensive help, and this is where Jazon Newton finally falls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely thought about them getting at this point for me would have been Byron Murphy. I definitely thought about that. I thought about getting them edge. This is one of those picks for me that I just don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
Fair. And then, to be fair, they'll probably just trade out of it or something.
I mean,
or trade up with it.
Yeah, like why not? Honestly, if I'm Arizona, yeah, I'll trade up with that pick. Why not? Because there's not really many guys around here that like, at least for Arizona, that really move me that much.
Yeah.
And so I got them taking Graham Barton here. I believe he's from Duke. But he's a tackle, and they need O-line help as well. So, I think Graham Barton here is a pick it's not flashy, but I do believe that one of their highest needs is O-line.
You got your flashy pick already with Odunze or Neighbors. You can take an O lineman here, and fans will still be happy. Next up, pick number 28.
Ooh, okay.
The Bills.
So this Arizona pick was a little bit of a throwaway pick because I liked the fits for some of the guys that I gave elsewhere. And so for me, number 28 is Byron Murphy.
Oh, okay. My thought process was that the Bills might be getting rid of Gabe Davis. He's a free agent.
True.
And, you need a little receiver help. Stephon Diggs, if they trade him away, you save like $19 million in cap space, and they're like the worst cap team right now. So that's a possibility. And why not draft a little mini Gabe Davis in Keon Coleman?
Okay.
Coleman. I think I don't necessarily think he's the 5th best receiver in this class, but I think he fits well with Josh Allen, and I think that they could be a good duo together. So I said, fuck it, why not?
I think that's a good pick for them for sure. I don't really know the wide receiver 5 range. There's so many guys that I'm just like any one of them I feel like could be good.
I have a wide receiver 5. Like, I know who my wide receiver 5 is, but I have him getting drafted later, so I wanted to wait until then.
I think the guy that I also have, wide receiver 5, he's also going late. And so, yeah. But at number 28, I could definitely see them getting wide receiver, especially with Stephon Diggs and also Gabe Davis. Like, I don't know who Josh Allen's going to be throwing to next year.
Yeah. So add a deep threat to him, and add someone that has a good catch radius and can go up and make the crazy contested catches and stuff. I think Coleman's fun. He's flashy.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call an audible on my. I'm calling an audible on my mock draft here.
Okay. Calling an audible mid draft.
Yeah. But we'll get to that.
Okay. Next up, Detroit, number 29. I think this is kind of simple. They need secondary and they need defense, and this is where Rakestraw finally falls to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I could also see Kamari Lester, but I think Rakestraw is just the 5th best quarterback, so I think I'm just gonna make it that simple.
I thought about giving them corner because they really
Yeah,
fucking
they
need it.
need it.
But and I thought about giving them Kamari Lassiter here, especially with the way the board has fallen. But for me, if I'm Detroit, I don't want to settle for the next best cornerback. I want to hit a home run. And so I have them picking Chop Robinson here.
Oh shit! I forgot about Shaw. I forgot they hadn't gotten chosen there.
Yeah, and for me, this is such a oh man, because like the thing with Chop Robinson is that he just needs to be like refined a little bit more, and I feel like Dan Campbell is the guy who can get the most out of him, bro.
I can definitely see that. Chop and Aiden Hutchinson on the same line is
Bro,
scary.
I want to see it. I would like to see it.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Um,
If Chop falls to Detroit, that would be a great pick.
for sure. And I really had to fuck around with the draft board a little bit to get that to happen. But
That's fair.
hey, you know what? I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
It was Arizona. That's what it was. Because for me, is that who you had going there? Who did you have going to Arizona at 27?
At 27, I had Juzon Newton.
Oh, you had Chop going to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I had Chop going to Tampa Bay.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, for sure.
So it was just a little bit of a fall, not too much. It's definitely in that range. I mean, you see crazier things happen at the draft.
And especially, I definitely think teams could like be scared of Chop
That's fair.
and go for a prospect that they feel like they have a little bit more like of a handle on, not something that's like as up in the air. If Chop fell to this next team, I feel like he would be a bust. Not because Baltimore, I feel like they'd be collecting defensive linemen like Pokemon, bro, and they just turn out to be like good, A-okay. Like their line last year was like not really something to write home about. It was like the rest of the defense, and so maybe
It's funny you mentioned that because I have them sticking with that trend and
so funny.
taking the I mean it's the defensive lineman that had the most pressures in all of college football last year, Braylon Trice.
Oh,
Braylon
Braylon Trice.
So I don't know, I think it seems like a good fit in my opinion. I know that like defense isn't exactly what they need, but they still could, you can always use help in the trenches, and I think it just seems like a good fit. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen with Jadeveon Clowney next year, or
true.
like what anyone on that defensive line. So it just felt right to me. I almost went with receiver, but Braylon Trice just felt right.
That makes a lot of sense. For me, there wasn't really a place where Braylon Trice fell in the first round. Not that he's not a first round talent or anything. I'm just not that familiar with his game. I almost had him going to Detroit in one of my mock drafts. But for me, at number 30, I think Baltimore needs wide receiver still bad. And so this was the audible that I called, and I have them going Keon Coleman here.
Oh, can I ask who you had originally?
It was Lad McConkey.
Oh.
I like Lad McConkey a lot.
I do like Lad. He's good.
And for me, it was like the separation that he can give you, and I feel like he kind of reminds me of Zay Flowers as a player who will probably not be on the team next year. I don't know.
We'll see.
Although I guess knowing the NFL's track record.
Yeah, no, the NFL's track record.
But I still would like more security in the pass catching unit over in Baltimore. So getting someone like Keon Coleman I think is great. Even though maybe he's falling down draft boards, I don't know quite why, because I mean Keon Coleman was a part of that undefeated team last year. So and so I think they've got to be doing something right over there. And so yeah, and I also know Keon Coleman is like a name. And so that's why I went with Keon Coleman here. Maybe I'll live to regret this, swapping him out with Lad McConkey. But I feel like this could also be justified in that like other teams might not be familiar with Lad's game, and so they might stray away from him here.
I also think that um, Keon is the flashier pick. Over and Baltimore definitely
sure.
I feel like would go with that over this guy can separate really well.
No,
'Cause, like,
yeah.
when has Baltimore ever been known to go with like the statistical guy? No.
Right.
Does he got that dog in him like Keon? Then all right, yeah, he's good.
And also it hurt me, and I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to. But the Lad McConkey going to Baltimore, I feel like he just would not fit in there.
It doesn't sound like a good fit. I don't think it would be a good fit.
Like it makes sense to me on paper, but like if that white boy is going to Baltimore, man, like it doesn't make any sense. And so I toyed around with Keon Coleman going here, but people's hesitation with Keon Coleman also made me hesitant with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I went with Lad, because I like that lad. I like that lad, and I think he's gonna be really good wherever he goes. Probably, honestly, at 33 to the Panthers, who they need a separator.
No, they need separator. That honestly, I don't want Lad to go in the first round just so that the Panthers can get Lad.
That makes sense to me.
I want him to go there. I think that's a great fit.
Now that I think about it, this is the pick here, Keon Coleman. And I think he'll be great with Lamar. Anyways.
Yeah, I think it would be great. Next up, the Niners. Who even cares?
Not me.
They're gonna go with offensive line just because
they should.
Why? What else are you gonna get? Especially at this pick, and I got them getting Graham Barton, the interior lineman.
Fair enough. I have Graham Barton off to the side of the player that I picked here because they need someone there.
Mm-hmm.
But Graham Barton went earlier to Arizona. And so I have San Francisco picking Zach Frazier from Wake Forest, I believe.
Yeah.
Nothing much else to say about that one. I feel like we have the same pick at 32.
You do?
I think so. Something within me thinks that we both have Adonai Mitchell going here.
We do. We both do. Bro, AD Mitchell would be so good with Mahomes.
It would be
so fun.
It would be so unfair.
It'd be so good. His improvisational like style and ability to like, create. It would be so fun seeing him with Mahomes. I think it's a perfect fit, and I would be shocked if the Chiefs don't agree with that.
I think that
he's my fifth best wide receiver, by the way. Who's who I think is my fifth best. Yeah.
I could see Adonai Mitchell going to Buffalo or even Baltimore before that.
I almost went with Buffalo as well.
But this was also one of my fits that I was like, man, I feel like I don't think this will happen. I think they'll probably get Lad McConkey, to be honest with you. But
I could see that. Yeah. Lad on the Chiefs would also be crazy.
If Adonai Mitchell was here at 32, I think he's a Chief.
I think he should be at least. I don't know. That's so funny that we had the same one though.
Yeah.
Our draft boards really did turn out pretty similar.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know how that happens, because I feel like every other mock draft that I see out there, and then when I'm doing the mock drafts, like the suggested players that it like wants to give me are always wildly different.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, how did this happen?
We need to stop. Well, we need to stop hanging out.
No, yeah, just
we need to stop talking about football outside of the podcast.
And viewers will be surprised to know that we don't just live in this room, and that we have lives outside of it, even though we always say that we do. We really want the listeners to know that this is not the only thing that we do.
This is, it is weird that like we really haven't talked much about draft stuff when it's not podcast time.
Yeah, for real. So
We need to find more people. I think it's also because we listen to a lot of the same people.
true. Yeah.
That could definitely. Because I've been inhaling some draft content lately, from like, you know, the bootleg football and Say Hot, and I was looking up some like I wanted to learn more about the corners. So I was looking up like some gameplay from the corners and stuff. I watched Nate Wiggins gameplay. He's a dog.
Hell
He's a
yeah.
dog.
We could get Nate Wiggins even if Quinyon Mitchell goes before him, and I wouldn't be too upset with that.
I think at where you're at, I think it's almost guaranteed that you'll get a good corner. A good corner will fall to you, whether it's Terrion Arnold, which I don't think it will be, or Cooper DeJean, or Quinyon Mitchell, or Nate Wiggins.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of those four is gonna fall to you, one way or the other. I think you got a good chance to at least get a good corner. And I know you'd prefer Quinyon Mitchell, but
It's just that like it's so stuck with me now that I don't think I'm like a spoiled child. I won't accept anything else.
get ready. You're not used to this because your team has never
No,
drafted.
bro. Like literally the entire time I've paid attention to football, we've not had a first round pick, bro. It's so crazy.
Get ready. It never goes how you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny that the first time the Rams have a first round pick is the time that I don't think I've ever made like I mean I have made like a full 32 man mock draft, but usually like this is the most like in depth that I feel like that
I definitely feel like this round watching the draft I'll know the most that I've ever known in a draft. Like I think for unless they pull some crazy shit, I think for all of the first 32 guys that are picked, I think I'll know a little bit about them, at least, and know how they fit, and be like, oh, that's gonna be a good fit, or this could be cool, and all that.
For sure.
So, that excites me as well because it gives me someone to watch on every team, a rookie to watch on every team.
Absolutely,
I can be like, if the Jaguars come out with Nate Wiggins, I can be watching that game and be like, hey,
I foresaw this in February. the last day of February.
I'm trying to see my dog.
Happy
Happy Leap Day.
Leap Day?
Yeah, Leap year day.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton's 4th birthday.
I thought it was the 6th.
Oh, I don't know. That's the other number that came to mind. Because I haven't counted this yet. I want to know how many wide receivers and tackles are going in my draft. So we got Marv, we got Neighbors, we got Adunze, and then we got to go down a little bit more. We got Brian Thomas Jr., we got Keon Coleman, and Adonai Mitchell. I believe that is 6.
6, yeah.
And tackles, Joe Alt, Fashanu, Fuaga, Latham, Mims, Fatanu, Tyler Guyton. Holy shit. What is Graham Barden?
He's a interior lineman.
Gotcha. But Zach Frazier is a tackle, right?
I believe so.
8 tackles going in the first round.
I have 7 because I have Graham Barden instead of Zach Frazier.
Right.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of tackles in this class.
Yeah, a lot of tackles, and Jesus, those teams need them. I know you got
The first round is it's either gonna be a quarterback, wide receiver, edge, tackle, or corner. Quarter, wide receiver, edge, tackle, corner.
No running backs. No linebackers.
No linebackers. No safeties.
Unless you want to call Cooper DeJean a safety, but
I don't.
I think he could play it.
He could. He could be a little hybrid safety. But yeah, I am. It is time for me to skedaddle.
Fair enough. I want to say one word about our Los Angeles Lakers before we go.
Say your word.
About our glorious King LeBron James.
Our glorious man.
Did you watch that game live?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
God, bro, it was so good. I I didn't watch. I had it on for like the first three quarters. It was just kind of on in the background as I was playing on my phone because
Right.
I was like, ah, whatever. I put down a bet which I won.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like a $5 parlay. Um, and so I was watching for that like towards the beginning and stuff, and like, and then after Kawhi got his 26 boards and rebound or points and rebounds, I was just kind of like, all right, I'll just keep this on while I play on my phone and stuff. And
Mm,
then, especially because it was like, we were down by 19 and going into the
yeah,
fourth
bro.
quarter, and I was like, whatever.
And that's what. Sorry, I'll cut you
Yeah,
off
yeah,
here because the literally the only part of this game that I watched live was whenever I was on my way home. I pulled the game up, and I hear like Norman Powell turns around, shoots a three, and I hear a buzzer and then cheers from the crowd, and he's like and then it's like the Clippers go up by 19, and I just
yep,
turned that shit off,
yep,
bro. I was like, you're fucking joking me right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, it was rough. But then the fourth quarter started, and I was kind of half paying attention for a little bit, and then all of a sudden I look up, and we're down by 9, and I was like, oh, okay. And then as I look up, like we're down by 9, and I'm like, oh wow. And then LeBron hit the three, and I'm like, oh shit, we're down by 6. This might get kind of good. Okay, sure. And then he hits another three, and you're like, and I'm like, oh shit. And then like the Clippers called a timeout, and we were like down by like 5, and someone hit it. No, so that happened, and then someone else hit a three. I think it was Norman, not Norman Powell. I think it was
Oh wait, no, no, no. I think it was Norman
it
Powell.
might have been Norman Powell.
Yeah.
It might have been Norman Powell. So Norman Powell hit a three, and then LeBron just walks up and hits another one, like immediately after, because Norman Powell hit that
Oh.
three, and it's like, oh damn, that sucks, man. Like we were kind of on a roll, and then LeBron just walks up and hits another one, and oh my god, bro, it was. I was like, at that moment, I was like, "Oh, we're done." Because, like, I think no, that was the one where after he hit it, the Clippers called the timeout, and LeBron's walking to the sideline going,
Yeah, bro. Oh my
I was
god.
like, "Oh no, he's locked in, bro. He's locked in."
I remember seeing that on the highlights too, because I
Yeah.
had to unfortunately watch this game after the highlights. Or
Watch the highlights of the game.
yeah, after
You
the
know.
game.
Yep.
And my god, it did not disappoint me.
Oh.
I was cheering in my bed as if I had been watching that game live.
Oh, it
Um,
was so good. And then the D'Lo three where he just catched and didn't even like lower it, just caught and shot. I was like, he had two of those that game. One was from that corner, and then the
yeah.
other one was like on like kind of on the wing where he would just where the first one was the one on the wing where he just caught and just immediately shot, and I was like, what the fuck, and then went in, and I was like, okay, cool. And then the second one, he hit the one on the closer corner, and
Mhm.
I was like, this man is unstoppable. Like, oh my god, it was
And then Rui also, bro. Rui went crazy in
Rui
this
had a
game
great
too. The
game.
whole I don't remember. Oh, he ended up with 18, I think, but
Yeah,
which isn't that crazy. But I mean,
yeah. There was a possession where Rui got a three, but in a missed, and but then AD got the rebound, passed it to James. Then James threw it over to Rui
mm,
again in the corner, and he made that one. And at that point, I was like getting up out of my bed. Like
yeah,
it was. Oh my god, man,
man,
it was such a good game.
I love Rui Hachimura, man.
I love him. I love Rui. D'Lo experience. I'll give you this one, D'Lo. I'll give you this one. And
I'm
then
fully on board for the D'Lo experience now, especially because like I had been saying it, bro. But we don't got a single other like true point guard other than D'Lo.
we don't.
And this year, I feel like his playmaking has been like insane.
Mhm,
Like seeing the way that he plays the pick and roll with AD, it's such a good fit, man.
mhm.
And so I'm well, I was gonna say I'm very excited for the rest of the season, but if there's anything about the Lakers is that they after a good win like this that they will play like shit. So
Yeah. Bet all the unders for next game for the Lakers. That's my advice.
who do they play? Oh, oh, they're playing the Wizards right now.
Oh hell yeah.
Cool. Well, we're losing. So
Oh my god. Okay, it's the end of the first quarter. We're down by 3. Let's calm down here.
Okay, hold on. Sorry. I really know you have to go, but I want to show you one thing that I saw, and it's NBA related. Oh shit. I hate Brick Muse too, but I'm gonna show you a Brick Muse tweet. Oh yes, it was Brooke Lopez. Have you seen this?
Why did he shoot it?
So for the podcast, Brooke Lopez for some reason has been given the oh my god in transition. Jamison Crowder gives the ball to Brooke Lopez in transition.
Jamison Crowder, you mean Jay Crowder?
Oh, Jay Crowder.
Jamison Crowder's the bad wide receiver for the Jets.
Oh yeah. I was like, I knew his name started with a J,
Yeah.
and I was looking at Crowder on the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
Jay Crowder gives Brooke Lopez the ball in transition. He stops at like the top of the key.
For no reason. He's not getting picked up or guarded or anything.
Yeah, and like looks around for like someone to pass the ball to. He's lost. There's no one. And then he
tries to throw it to, I think that's Dame.
yeah.
He tries to throw it to Dame behind him, like at half court, but it slips out. He tries not to. He decides not to.
I think he's like, I think he just second guesses himself, and because there's a defender not even looking at him, and I guess he was gonna do like a high arcing pass to get him the ball, but he just didn't go through with it. So then he catches his own pass, which how is that not a travel, right?
He didn't pick up the pivot foot. He didn't.
No, but he did though. He literally did. He moves.
Nah, bro. He had.
Nah,
he
what
had-
are you looking at? Double digits on the shot clock.
It's gotta be at like 18.
Double digits on the shot clock.
Catches that self pass, and then immediately turns around and throws up a brick.
And that's like a deep 3 too.
Oh yeah.
I said top of the key earlier, but that's like at least like 32 feet right there.
He's so fucking
And it just like dongs,
the catch and just immediate shot.
hits backboard. There's no rim there though. No rim.
No rim at all. Just dunk.
Oh, man.
God.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention the fact that Sean's not here.
Oh yeah.
Our permanent co-host had dinner with his family tonight, so hopefully his bright and lovely presence will be felt on the next podcast.
The next Sporty Threesome podcast, because that's what this is.
Yeah, and that's what this is. I don't think we said that either.
We did not.
Welcome and goodbye. That's been this week's episode. Next week, don't know what the fuck we're gonna talk about.
Probably
we just did our
more drafts.
Oh, probably more combine stuff. Yeah,
maybe
because
the
the wide receivers and quarterbacks will have gone on Sunday, I believe.
Are they going on Sunday? Cool.
I think so.
I want to be able to watch that one, so that'd be sick.
Yeah, and so we'll have more stuff to talk about. I don't know when like free agency starts, but that's definitely something that we'll talk about.
Yeah. Maybe by then we'll have a cool trade or something to discuss as well.
Maybe Justin Fields will
perhaps.
finally be.
Will finally be a Raider.
I was gonna say a Giant. Oh man, I would feel so bad for him.
Oh yeah. All right.
Thank you for tuning in as always.
Thank you for tuning in. Another successful episode. Another riveting watch for you. You're welcome.
In the books. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And
we hope you learned a lot.
Yeah, take care out there.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
We love you.
We love you.
Mwah.